three remain. One series left in the regular season, at home against the two-time defending National League champion Phillies. The Braves' playoff hopes are completely in their hands. Just win, and they're one game closer to celebrating on their home field. It's October, and it's what every player dreams of. A chance to play in the postseason, a chance to be a hero, and a chance to help his team win. It's what baseball is, and the drama starts right now. A beautiful October day in Atlanta, Georgia, and a 50,000-plus numbered crowd gathering tonight at Turner Field in Atlanta for Game 1 of the final series of regular season play for Braves manager Bobby Cox. Braves' magic number to get into the playoffs is 2. They'll try to take another step toward that as they host the Phillies tonight. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff, and the low price. Here's a look at the standings up to the minute. The Braves a 2-game lead over the Padres, who play the Giants in San Francisco later on tonight. And good evening, everybody. Chip and Joe back with you here in Atlanta. Great weekend and a chance for the Braves to control their own destiny beginning tonight.
First time in 5 years they've got a shot to get in the postseason, Chip, and they're very fired up about it, needless to say. The pitching matchup for this ball game, one that the Phillies have seen. Brandon Beachy made his major league debut against the Phillies just 2 starts ago, and he pitched well. Gave up only 1 earned run in his 4 1/3 innings of work. Kyle Kendrick, on the other hand, has pitched twice here at Turner Field this year. He's only given up 1 earned run in 15 innings. It seems like everybody else has some luck against Kendrick, but not the Braves. They're going to try to hand him a loss tonight and make sure that they put some pressure on the Padres.
Phillies have a lot of their mainstays in their starting lineup. Chase Utley's one of them. You know the Braves have Jason Hayward and company ready to go for Game 1 of this big weekend series. The lineup's coming your way from Turner Field right after this. think back to mid-February when pitchers and catchers reported to Orlando. Goal number 1, play meaningful games in October. Here we are, the 1st of October, and 3 very important games for the Braves, whose magic number to clinch a playoff spot stands at 2. The Phillies standing in the way. They've got Jimmy Rollins back in the order at the top of their attack. Ryan Howard, though, a man you have to pay very close attention to in this ballpark. He loves hitting at Turner Field. And, of course, Kyle Kendrick, as Joe mentioned a moment ago, is pitching for them. He will bat ninth for Charlie Manuel.
Brandon Beachy's pitched a couple of good ball games for the Braves in the heat of this pennant race, and he has not shown any signs of being nervous or out of place. 2 starts. There are his numbers overall. The one thing he's got to work on are the walks. He only walked 6 in 45 innings at AAA, and he's walked 6 here in his major league starts. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight against this very good hitting Philadelphia ball club: cut down on those walks, can't give any free passes to this team, and more use of his curveball. Man, it was a beauty against Washington. In his last start, he got no decision, but struck out 9 over a 5-inning outing. He'll hope to have that same kind of stuff tonight.
And, of course, this is the final regular season weekend for Bobby Cox. Ed Mengen and his staff honor him by having number 6 cut into the outfield grass in straightaway center. And it will be indeed a fun and emotional weekend for the Braves skipper and everybody in Braves country at Turner Field. Jimmy Rollins ready to lead things off for the Phillies. He's been a sight for sore eyes. Umpiring crew for the ball game tonight, Jim Wolf will call the balls and strikes. And Rollins will be the first out. Here's the defense behind Brandon tonight. Melky Cabrera, Nate McLeod, and Jason Hayward from left to right. Brooks Conrad in, as you know, for the injured Chipper Jones and Martin Prado. And Brian McCann and Beachy form the Braves battery. Here's Ben Francisco batting second tonight for the Phillies. And they have, for the most part, put together their normal starting lineup offensively. A couple of exceptions. Placido Polanco and Shane Victorino get the night off.
You're not going to see any of their frontline pitchers until Sunday. But Charlie Manuel made it very clear. He said there will be a team on the field from Philadelphia that is capable of beating the Atlanta Braves all 3 games. So there might be a starter or 2 replaced each game, but the lineup is going to be a strong one.
Francisco hits it to straightaway center. Two quick outs.
They've had a phenomenal September. This Phillies ball club really went to the whip around the beginning of August to overtake the Braves, but they were 3 games back on September 1st, and they come into play today 5 games up. They've gone 21-6 in the month. They're averaging over 5 runs a game, and they've hit a ton of homers. Their starting pitching has been outstanding. They got hot when they got all of their players back, all their position players back, and their starting pitching took over from there.
And as great as that 21-6 mark is this month, or last month I should say, it's a little deceptive. After they've clinched, they've actually won 2 of 5. They were 19-3 before they sealed things in the East. And their big 3 was a big problem for everybody in the National League and figures to be tough to beat come playoff time.
Yeah, I mean, Kendrick's been in the rotation all year long. We'll see a rookie tomorrow, but then on Sunday, Hamels will start, and Oswalt expected to see some action too as they tune up for their first action in the postseason.
Chase Utley, the batter. 3 balls, no strikes to him. You know about Utley's injury problems this year. Missed over a month and a half with a torn ligament in his thumb. He'd like to tune things up for postseason play.
And that's what Brandon has to do tonight when he gets behind 3-0 is throw a strike, make them put the ball in play. As good a hitting team as they are, you just can't run the possibility of a big inning with a bunch of walks. Took a little off there, 3-1. Beautiful. I mean, this guy was an undrafted free agent, folks. Well, he's done a whale of a job.
And Utley off stride. It's popped up. Foul ground and playable. And Beachy works a perfect top half of the first. Retired in order in the top of the first. Now let's see if Bobby Cox and the Braves can jump in front of Kyle Kendrick in their first turn. Here's how Atlanta lines them up. And Brooks Conrad, what a job he has done filling in for Martin Prado. He'll hit 8th in front of starter Brandon Beachy.
Kyle Kendrick is 26 years old, 6'3", 215 out of Mount Vernon, Washington. He was a 7th round pick in 03, a .500 record this year, 10-10 with a fairly high ERA. But against the Braves, he's been very good, a 4-1 career record, and he's given up 3 runs or less in all 8 of his career starts against Atlanta. His 4 keys to success tonight: he's got an excellent 2-seamer and good sinking action on it. And dude, where's my 5 runs? Well, he averages over almost 6 runs a game of run support. That's 6th best in the National League.
Well, it's a good night to pitch at the ballpark in Atlanta. The wind blowing in. Very dry but cool weather. As Omar Infante bats for the first time.
Seeker slider primarily for Kendrick. One of those guys that can get out of jams with just one pitch because of his ability to get ground ball outs. But he's also given up a ton of homers, 26 of them.
Crowd still filing in tonight for this Friday night affair. As Rollins a chance at short. He made a good play for the first out.
Here's a look at some work Kendrick has put in against the Braves this year. And again, that's just one earned run in 15 innings against the Braves. You'll see him keeping the ball down. You'll see against a left-handed hitter, I believe it's Hinsky in a second. You'll see a two-seamer that runs back over the inside corner. That's a really good pitch right here. Going to have some lefties giving up on it if it's successful tonight. There's a good cutter in on McLeod.
So the base is clear for Jason Hayward. Jason at .278 this season. He's hit 18 home runs.
But after that torrid August, he's really cooled off. He's just 6 for his last 40. Now would be a good time to go on another tear.
Jason very patient at the plate, as you know. 89 walks. That's 5th highest in the league. He's ahead in his first count of the night. That cold spell you talked about, Joe, his on-base percentage dips below 400.
Yeah, he's still been drawing a few walks, but he's really, his average has taken a hit. Good patience there.
His 90th walk, and he's aboard in front of Brian McCann.
That's really impressive. 90 walks for a rookie at his age. I mean, that was something we talked about from the first game of the season in spring training, about his reputation of having real good knowledge of the strike zone and having wonderful patience. And 90 walks certainly represent that.
A chance for McCann to do some first inning damage for the Braves. 21 homers for him.
Brian's had some pretty good luck against the Phillies in his career, especially at Citizens Bank Park. But this year, the Phillies pitchers have taken care of business against some guys. Hayward, for example, just 4 for 31. McCann, a .227 season average against him. And the Braves outfield tonight, all combined, you don't want to know.
I won't ask them.
I'll tell you anyway. Cabrera, Hayward, and McLeod, a combined 12 for 92. That's a 130 average. Good patience here by Hayward and McCann, making him get the ball up.
High fly ball to center, but it's right into the wind for the second out.
Got to pitch up. He'd been waiting on that one. We got under it just a little bit. And in this wind tonight, anything you start by hitting it high, it's just going to die. See Worth in center field tonight. Shane Victorino getting a night off. Phillies have won their last 8 straight road series. So if you think they were just going to come in here and skip their way into the postseason and lay down, you can forget it. Charlie Manuel will have his club ready to play and trying their best to beat the Braves.
Ball, no strikes to Derek Lee. Braves looking for their first inning run since September 11th. Had a good cut. And the count even now, 1 ball, 1 strike to the Braves first baseman Derek Lee. Phillies retired in order in the top of the inning. Jason Hayward, a 1-out walk, stands at first with 2 down now.
Took a little off on that one. That was a good pitch. His last start against the Mets, he got beat 5-2. Gave up 4 runs, 3 were earned in 6 1/3 innings, but didn't walk anybody.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Special treat tonight. Chipper Jones will join us on the microphone from the Braves dugout. That will be coming up in the 2nd inning at some point. Find out how the knee's feeling after the surgery. And reminisce about his memories of Bobby Cox tonight.
Good at bat. Throwing a couple of good change-ups in this at bat. See if he tries it again. 3-2. Crowd's into it tonight. That's great to see.
Hayward goes. The pitch line to right field. That's in for a hit. Francisco can't cut it off. Here comes Jason around third. He is going to score, and the Braves lead by a run.
Terrific at bat by Derek Lee. Fell behind 1 and 2, laid off a couple of tough pitches, and then he gets one belt high and goes the other way with it. And hit it hard. In fact, it was hit so hard that Francisco could not cut it off. He was trying. And Jason on the 3-2 pitch able to run as soon as Kendrick went to the plate, and he scored without a throw. Great start. There's that first inning run. First since when?
September 11th.
Outstanding.
So Derek Lee, 75th RBI of the year, gives Beachy and the Braves a 1-0 lead. And Melky Cabrera, the Braves left fielder, bats now with 2 outs.
Braves only had 1 lead in Philadelphia in that crucial 3-game series, and that lasted a half inning. And it's really important to get on these guys early, because if they score first, they're 62-12, and that's the best record in the majors. Unbelievable.
And to your point, because the Braves had that very short lead, they weren't able to use one of their big weapons against the Phillies. It was all those hard-throwing left-handers out of the bullpen to shut down their offense. So let's see if that plays out to the Braves' favor tonight. As Melky hits a high fly ball to right field. That one playable, and that one caught to retire the side. Derek Lee, a 2-out double, chases home Jason Hayward. 2 great at-bats. And after 1 inning of play, Atlanta jumps in front of the As we head to the second inning, and tonight's Braves broadcast on Sports South is presented in beautiful high definition by H.H. Gregg. Joe and Chip tonight from Turner Field. Final 3 games of the regular season getting underway tonight. And Brandon Beachy, an early lead. We'll go to the second inning with Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, and Raul Ibanez coming up for the Phillies. Another monster season for the Phillies first baseman. 5 straight 30-homer, 100-plus RBI years for Ryan Howard.
And he's been a postseason monster for them, too. In the 3 years that they've been going, Division Series, NLCS, and World Series, 7 homers, 27 RBIs in 32 games.
So to neutralize that from the mound, where do you go to give Howard problems?
In. You got to keep the ball in on him, and you can't pitch him down and in. He's a good low ball hitter.
Braves have the shift on, and a sinking line drive is caught by Omar Infante. 1 out.
Smoked that low pitch. But hit it right at Omar.
Now Jason Worth bats. 26 homers, 83 knocked in. A career year for the Phillies free agent to be in hits, extra base hits, and runs.
There's that curveball, and that's a beaut. Got to establish inside with Jason Worth, too. You've got to make him recognize that you will pitch him in and then come back with the breaking stuff.
And down to a knee goes Worth as he missed a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Got a big cut, didn't he? Maybe it's a good pitch to hit. Prefers the ball up a little bit. He's a good high ball hitter. But Beachy threw that one right by him.
Wendell pushed that out of play, and Worth stays alive. A ball and 2 strikes. Told you while we were in Philadelphia the interesting story about Jason Worth. He was born and raised in Springfield, Illinois, and signed a letter of intent to play baseball at the University of Georgia before signing a professional contract with the Orioles. And he just struck out. Impressive start for Beachy tonight.
Yeah, first strikeout for him tonight after 9 in his last outing in 5 innings against Washington. But there's the hook again. Not especially a good one, but bad enough that he couldn't stay back and wait on it.
Now Raul Ibanez, the Phillies left fielder. All the attention you have to play with Victorino and Worth and Howard and Utley. Think about the damage that Raul Ibanez and Carlos Ruiz have done in the bottom of this Philly attack.
They're kind of the ambushers. You know, you work your tail off to get around through those middle guys, and then you come to this part of the order And there's no let up.
Ibanez has 15 runs batted in the last 21 games. And I know when we saw Brandon pitch against the Phillies, the code for him to have success was 1, 2, 7, and 8.
Got to keep the first two guys off base. You got to really keep 8 and 9 off ahead of the heart of the order too. But he's off to a good start tonight, much sharper than he was in the first 2 innings in Washington, where he walked some guys and gave up runs in each of the first 2 innings.
Deep short. And it skips off the glove of Alex Gonzalez. And Ibanez, the first Philly base runner of the game.
Thought Alex was going to get to this without having to slide to get it. But a very slow windup here from Beachy. To the hole.
We await the official scoring as Dobbs is the hitter. That'll be a hit for Ibanez.
Another look at that base hit. Ball came up on him a little bit as he started to go down.
Dobbs getting his 28th start at third base for the Phillies this year. Their regular third baseman is Placido Polanco, who has played through a bad elbow injury all season long. And the elbow injury was one that was caused accidentally by Tim Hudson. He hit him on the elbow early in the season, and for Polanco, it hasn't been right all year.
Just another hanging curveball. No, that looked like a hanging changeup. Got to get that down. When he did run into some difficulty in Philadelphia in his major league debut, it was because he couldn't get his breaking ball and changeup down. But you could understand that. He was pretty amped up that night. Guy who had not even been in big league spring training, was an undrafted player. Had a good year in AA and AAA.
Signed for $20,000.
He's really been impressive, and he's really impressed a lot of his teammates too, with his composure and his grittiness in the role that he's been placed, filling in for Jurgens in such a heated pennant race.
And he just got Dobbs swinging. Beachy has a shutdown inning as the Braves maintain a 1-0 second inning lead.
Fox, and tomorrow there'll be a celebration like no other on Fox Sports South. Be sure to watch the historic tribute to the Braves skipper live from Turner Field at 3:30 just before they take on the Phillies. Tune in and witness history on Fox Sports South. Now let's get you back to the game.
Thank you very much, Christina. Good start for the Braves, who lead 1-0 in the second inning now with Nate McLouth, Alex Gonzalez, and Brooks Conrad coming up against Kyle Kendrick. And it's always a pleasure to be joined by future Hall of Famer and current star of the Buck Commanders series, Chipper Jones. Happy October, buddy.
You kill me with those shameless plugs.
I got to do what I can for you, kid. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. I actually, right before game time today, got the okay to start hitting off the tee, so I'm pretty jacked up about it.
Saw you playing catch a few days ago, too.
Yeah, I'm trying to give him every opportunity to say, hey, Chip, let's run out there to third base. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
Pretty remarkable what this club has been able to do and fight for this final playoff spot in the National League, considering all that's happened the last 2 weeks.
It really is. You know, I mean, these guys have been unbelievable really all year. I mean, I was telling some of the reporters before the game, this is one of the most remarkable teams that I've ever played on. They're extremely cohesive and just wanting to go out and do whatever it takes every night to get a win. We know that when we step on the field, we're not going to beat somebody 10-0. We know we're going to have a tight ball game, and we're going to have to pitch and play defense, and somebody's going to have to get a timely hit late.
Bobby calls it the hardest working team he's ever had, Chipper. What does that mean exactly?
Well, we've had to be. You know, I mean, you know how – remember earlier in the season I said, you know, this team has we got ball players on this team. And when I say that, we got ball players in the true definition of what a ball player is. Down and dirty, gritty, work hard, you know, in the afternoons. When they get done playing at night, their jerseys are covered head to toe in clay and grass stains, and those are the kind of guys that you win ball games with, and we got enough of them here that have, you know, compensated for some of the tough injuries that we've had this year.
I was going to say, nobody personifies that more perhaps than the man in the batter's box, the man filling in for you and Martine at third base, Brooks Conrad.
He's been here almost 1 year, and he's one of my favorite players. I mean, the guy's just he's a sponge. He's very coachable. He's a good kid. He's versatile. Obviously, I love him because he's a switch hitter, but he plays all over the infield, and he's one of those guys that's head to toe, clay and grass stains, and very intense and very serious when he comes out here, as he should be.
Alex Gonzalez, the hitter, with a 1-ball, 1-strike count with the bases empty. And that one hit to shallow right. Utley out, Francisco in.
Chipper, when Martine got hurt a few days ago, I mean, everybody loves watching Martine play, and I think everybody knows how much he plays in pain. Of course, the broken finger, but he's also got a bad groin. But, I mean, for a guy who loves to play as much as he does, as much as you love to play, you can certainly relate to how painful this is for him to be done for the year.
Yeah, it's, you know, like we've all said, it's torture, you know. I mean, we've been waiting 5 years to get back to this point, you know, where we're on the cusp of being able to clinch a playoff spot and get to where we go, send Bobby off the way we all would want to, and now, you know, myself and Martine can't be a part of that, and that's heartbreaking for both of us. You know, Martine was saying the other day, you got 17 years under your belt. I'm just getting started, so it's, you know, it is very tough for him. He expressed that to me the other day, and it's unfortunate because, you know, certainly through the first 3 quarters of this year, he was our most valuable player. He was the igniter on offense, and then you know, stepped right into the 3-hole when I got hurt and didn't stop there.
Brooks Conrad, one of your proteges, has another hit.
He's got it going on from the left side. He's really feeling it. We're trying to get him to be a little more aggressive, trying to take the same aggressive swing that he takes left-handed, right-handed, because his bat stays in the zone longer when he's more aggressive. right-handed, and he's hit a couple balls right-handed in the last couple days that he's hit right on the button. So hopefully we'll get him hot from both sides of the plate before we get into the playoffs.
Brandon Beachy, the Braves pitcher, is in the batter's box. And what a job this guy's done.
Man, oh man.
He's I think he's surprised everybody. I don't know of too many guys that even knew who this guy was when he got called up, and somebody told me Beachy was pitching. I'm like, who the heck is that? But I mean, he's come up and given us some valuable innings, and who would have thought coming out of spring training this year that Brandon Beachy would be pitching in the most important game of the year, 1st of October, when we needed it the most.
Yeah, possible clincher.
Yeah.
Brandon Beachy's your guy. He's got good stuff, and he's certainly not shy about any of this. I mean, he doesn't seem scared. He's taking it all in stride.
Well, he's what you like to see out of a young guy, somebody who's out there poised, doesn't get rattled, not afraid to throw the fastball, spot it to both sides of the plate, and I've been very impressed with his changeup.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Brandon Beachy. Braves lead on a Derek Lee run-scoring double in the first.
How far can this team go if they clinch, Chipper, and get in as the wild card? They're not going to play the Phillies in the first round no matter what if they get in. Is this team capable of going to the World Series?
I think we're capable of going as far as our starting pitching and our bullpen takes us. Obviously, we're going to be facing some pretty good pitching over the next couple weeks, and you're not going to put a lot together against them, if you got a really, really good offensive ball club. So you just got to hope to grind it out and hope the pitching keeps you in the game.
We have one quick question for you when we come back about Bobby Cox. Can you stick around for that for us?
Sure.
Chipper Jones in the Braves dugout as we've dealers by AT&T and by Geico. We are back with you in Atlanta for the top of our third inning. 1-0. The Braves have the lead. Chip Carey with Joe Simpson and Chipper Jones downstairs. And obviously, Chipper, this is the final regular season weekend for Bobby Cox as the Braves skipper. It's an emotional weekend. You played your whole career for Bobby. If you can, what's your favorite memory of the Braves skipper, if you can put it in words? Told you we were going to put you on the spot.
Well, I would have to say the ejection in Cincinnati with Smoltz and Hunter Wendelstedt. I can't really repeat what he said to Hunter. It was something pertaining to his father. But he told, after Smoltz got kicked out of the game, Coxie looked Smoltz right now. And he said, "You get back on that mound. You are not out of this game." Like he was going to do something to prevent him from, both of them, from sitting in the clubhouse the rest of the time. The line he gave Hunter, was, it was a classic managerial, just zinger one-liner that set everybody off. He got thrown out right there by third base, and it was one of those moments that you talk about 15 years later, like we're talking about it right now. There've been so many of them, but that one really sticks out in my mind.
Did he ever come to you, or did he ever go to any of the other veteran players and ask your opinion about lineups, or maybe to the big three pitchers and ask them about the rotation ever?
Oh, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. I think, especially with the rotation, he was really, really good about staying in tune with those three guys. Whatever fell in behind them, was kind of secondary. But he made sure that those three guys were happy, that they were comfortable, and, they felt good about going into a particular series lined up the way they wanted to. Obviously, what worked out best was either Doggy or Smoltzy in the one hole, and then Glav sandwiched, in between them, and usually that's the way it went.
Has it sunk in for you? This is the final weekend for Bobby?
I think tomorrow will be the time when it hits me the most, when we're all out there in the middle of the field and we're all kind of saying goodbye and everybody's getting a chance to show their gratitude to Bobby. That's probably when it's all going to hit me. It's so hard for me to believe that a lifer like Bobby is going to hang it up, especially when this organization is back on the upswing and headed towards the top of the National League East and got so many promising, hopefully a bunch of promising years ahead of us, for him to hang it up now. But like I've said, every dog has his day, and unfortunately for the rest of us, Bobby's day is going to be Sunday.
Well, Chipper, we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us tonight. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and get well soon, as we like to say up here.
Thanks, guys. Enjoyed talking to you.
Thanks, Chipper. Chipper Jones with Kendrick in the box and a 1-2 count. Kendrick has 6 sacrifices this year. He struck out 15 times. A real pest, Carlos Ruiz doubled to start the inning. Fly ball, pretty well hit to right. Jason measures it up. And nearly doubled off. And that throw been at the bag. Ruiz a little late getting back.
Yeah, you can fake all you want, but you better get back to the base just in case the throw comes into the bag. Nice, good throw that's cuttable. Head high for Omar. Well done.
That brings up Jimmy Rollins, who suffered through an injury-plagued year. Rollins tonight playing in only his 86th game of the season, hitting .241 for the year.
It's only his 9th at bat since coming back from the DL.
So for the Phillies, who've already clinched the division, they've clinched a playoff spot. These are critically important at bats for them to see what Rollins is capable of doing or not doing.
Yeah, and to see how much stress he can put on his hamstring.
Derek Lee, a marvelous play. And Beachy just got to the bag in time.
Brandon got a late start, Chip, and I'm not sure if Jimmy Rollins had a healthy leg, if Brandon would have won this race on a normal day. Jim Joyce, the first base umpire, there to make the call. And it was a foot race. Jim Joyce involved in another play from the first baseman to the pitcher earlier this year, you might remember. Galarraga's bid for a perfect game in Detroit.
So a runner at third now, 2 outs for Francisco.
They like this guy a lot. If Jason Worth does play out his option, becomes a free agent and plays elsewhere next year, this is one guy along with Dominic Brown ready to step in and get some more playing time.
Hammered to center. McLouth on the run, hauls it in. Beachy pitches around a leadoff double and preserves a 1-0 Atlanta lead. And a beautiful play at first base has preserved an early lead for the Braves. Will now send Omar Infante to the plate to start things off.
Omar had the big hit the other night against the Florida Marlins, driving in the game winner. I think he wasn't excited. He's had such a tremendous year, but he's just one of many that have provided the Braves with some last at bat wins this year. How about these walk-off winners? Maybe Brooks Conrad should be highlighted. That was just still the one that stands out. That crazy grand slam against Cincinnati, that big rally in the ninth. A fun year, to say the least.
Infante at .322 for the year, still trying to reach the required number of 502 plate appearances to qualify for the batting title. That .322 average as it stands now would be good for third in the league, behind Carlos Gonzalez and Joey Votto.
Now his average has taken a hit here in the last couple of weeks. Just before Martin got hurt, the guys at the top of the order were scuffling a little bit. Infante 3 for his last 14 now. And he was very happy to have an off day yesterday.
Braves are really working the count against Kendrick to start this game tonight.
Well, he's that type of pitcher that you've got to make him get the ball up.
Dobbs at third for the first out. Get your 2010 Braves Division Series tickets by visiting Braves.com/postseason, by calling 800-745-3000, by visiting your local Ticketmaster outlet or at the Turner Field ticket windows. Secure the best seats by ordering today. The Braves don't yet know whom they'll be playing in the first round. That will be decided on the West Coast, where the Padres play the Giants tonight in the first game of the final 3 games of their regular season.
And what the Braves hope is a clinching night if they can beat the Phillies and the Padres lose.
Pitching matchups for that series beginning tonight in San Francisco shape up this way.
And take a look at the Padres' marks against the Giants. 10-5, and they're 5-1 at AT&T Park.
Popped up. Let's see if the wind does anything with this ball. It pushes it back into foul ground. Jason pops out for the second out. Fonte grounded to third. Hayward pops to third. Now Brian McCann hits. Boy, San Diego's really fallen on hard offensive times, and you figure that'll continue with the Giants and their great pitching. 22 of their last 23 games, they've allowed 3 runs or less.
Yeah, that you saw the ERA in September for the Giants. That combined with San Diego's lack of hitting is not a good combination for the Padres. But again, they played well there. Let's see what happens.
Braves' magic number is 2. If the Braves can win tonight, win tomorrow, doesn't matter what San Diego does or doesn't do. That's why the Braves control their own destiny. And an even count now to the Braves catcher, Brian McCann.
Jimmy Rollins moves over behind second base. Dobbs off the bag on the 3-1 count. Expecting Mac to get something to pull.
And the 55th pitch of the game from Kendrick is too far inside, and Derek Lee again bats with 2 out.
Well, he's our Toyota Tundra hardest working player because of this at bat in the first inning. He got behind right there, 1-2, and then he laid off the sinker, laid off another one, a cutter outside, and then with 3-2 count and Jason Hayward running, he lashed this one to right field, and that drove Hayward in all the way from first. Great at bat by Derek Lee. He's also turned in a gem at first to save a run. Another item worth watching in the standings too. I know the Reds have already clinched. They have an 89-70 record. The Giants are 2 games better than that, but they're fighting for the second best record in the National League among division winners if the Giants go on to win. And the reason that's important is because whichever team has the third best record has to play the Phillies, and nobody wants to play the Phillies in that short series with their 3 aces.
And not the way they're swinging the bats either. And the Reds are home with Milwaukee tonight and beating them 1-0. Again to third. Snow cone for Dobbs, but no trouble, and that will send the game to inning number 4. Brandon Beachy and the Braves lead the first place Phillies by an early run. Presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff and the low price. Festive atmosphere tonight in Atlanta, where the Braves lead the Phillies by a 1-0 score. The Braves have standing room tickets to see Bobby Cox's final games tomorrow and Sunday here against the Phillies. Get your tickets now at Braves.com/tickets, by phone at 800-745-3000, or at the Turner Field ticket windows. This crowd's been very electric from the very first pitch of the night. And Brandon Beachy has allowed only 2 Philly hits so far. Second time through with Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, and Jason Worth coming up.
Mentioned Howard's postseason prowess. This guy hadn't been too shabby either. 9 homers, 19 RBIs in 32 games. Their big players have been big postseason producers.
Utley's 0 for 2. And Howard, who lined out his first time up, that's here in the 4th inning. Howard has 15 hits this year against the Braves, just 2 of them for home runs. He only knocked in 7 runs all season against Atlanta pitching. He's also trying to win the overall season series against Philadelphia. Now the Phillies have won 8 of the first 15 played.
It's obvious when Ryan Howard first came into this league, and he came in on the heels of the Jim Thome time that he spent in Philadelphia, and Howard stepped in. And how about the last 5 years? His RBI numbers are off because he only has 106.
I think it's time to sit him down for the rest of the series. He's obviously way too tired to play against the Braves this weekend.
I remember he missed some time too because of injury that cut into some of his numbers and a sprained ankle.
The other thing about Howard, I think that's so impressive, is he doesn't want to just be known as a slugging first baseman. I think he looks to be in the best shape of his professional career. He's really worked on his glove work at first base with the Phillies' third base coach, Sam Perlazzo. It seems to me from a distance Howard's trying to become, or continue to become, a complete player, not just a guy that hits tape measure home runs.
Yeah, he works hard and likes being thought of as a good player in all regards. Not a bad base runner either.
Into center field for the 3rd Phillies hit. Brandon got a pitch up that Howard mashed his first time. Where was the location on this pitch?
I know it was out away from him, and he hit it off the end of the bat a little bit. It was hit hard enough, certainly, and out off the plate a little bit. It was the Foxmo look at it. Right off the end of the bat up the middle. Giants already 2 games better in the win column than they were last season.
A strike to Jason Worth.
This guy's actually played in more postseason games than the other 2 guys. Their other 2 offensive heroes, Utley and Howard, because he was in the postseason 1 year with the Dodgers. He's played 35 games, 11 homers in 35 postseason games for Jason Worth.
He is critically important to their offense with all the left-handed batters they have in their lineup. Slot him right between Ibanez and Howard. He laid off the change to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Remember, Beachy got him to chase a breaking ball for a strikeout last time up, but it was a hanger, a high hanger that he didn't connect on. Now they're going to try a changeup.
Looped into left center field, and Melky plays it on a hop. So back-to-back singles by Howard and Worth set things up for the Phillies. And Raul Ibanez, the batter, with 1 out.
Good adjustment by Worth on this changeup because it was a good pitch. Down, not even a strike, but he went down and got it. And a smart play here by Melky with 1 out, not to try to make some superhuman effort there on the diving attempt. Especially with Howard running, you can make him play station to station and keep a double play in order.
That's what Brandon hopes Raul Ibanez does here with a hit already to his tally tonight. Ibanez second on their team in double play balls behind Wilson Valdez. Believe it or not, he hit 20 of them. Ibanez 15. Alex can't get it. And Howard around third will score the game-tying run. 3 straight singles ties things up.
When you look at the season numbers by the Phillies against Atlanta, and you're trying to figure out who's been doing the most damage, well, from an RBI standpoint, it's Raul Ibanez, who just drove in his 12th run of the year against Atlanta, and that's the most on their team. So what you were talking about earlier, Chip, about how you get past the big guys, and then you think you're getting to maybe some soft spots with the likes of Ibanez or Ruiz, and they're hardly that.
Yeah, I don't think there really are any.
No, there aren't.
So the lead is gone. It's a tie game for Greg Dobbs. He struck out swinging his first time up. And now Brian McCann out for a talk. As Dobbs digs back in. The last couple of years, Dobbs has been an integral part of the Phillies bench. Remember, he and Matt Stairs were the 2 big boppers that Charlie Manuel had off the left side of the bench in pinch hit situations. Dobbs 48 pinch hit appearances this year, second only to Ross Glode, who has taken the place of Matt Stairs.
Dobbs is actually sent back to AAA for a time.
Dobbs, a waiver claim by the Phillies, got him from Seattle. And Dobbs in 2001 graduated from Oklahoma, earned a degree in sociology with the Sooners.
Good for him. Brandon Beachy's 24 years old, started the year in Double-A at Mississippi. Pitched really well, 3-1 with a save and a 1.47 ERA, 100 strikeouts in 73 innings. Got called up to Triple-A, went 2-0 there with a 2.17 ERA and struck out 48 in 45 innings. What got him a call up in terms of replacing Jair Jurgens was his command. He just didn't walk anybody. Total of 28 walks in 118 innings.
Pop fly, wind won't keep that in play. It'll stay 2-2 to Dobbs.
Going back real quick, Chip, to that play on the base hit by Worth where Melky didn't dive for it. The thing about that is with one out, if he makes a diving attempt and doesn't get it and the ball bounces by him, then Howard goes to third and Worth goes to second. So the base hit by Ibanez costs you 2 runs instead of 1. And you lose the double play possibility. So that was why that was a smart defensive play.
I've heard that described in this way: give the offensive player what he earned. Ibanez earned a single, nothing more. So why play it into something?
Oh, you mean Worth's?
Yes.
Well, with 2 outs, you can take a chance because you only need 1 out to get out of the inning still, but not early in the inning.
Now it's the Phillies' turn to work the count on Beachy. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 in, 1 out.
Struck him out with a changeup first time around, keeps going back to it, and Dobbs is spoiling it this time around. Staying back a little better. Like most left-handed hitters, good low ball hitter.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat. Got it.
With the changeup anyway. You know, some of these guys for the Phillies, and that's another beautiful pitch. Boy, those changeups have been down. Worth just happened to hit a good one, and so did Ibanez. But some of these guys who are getting some playing time for the Phillies, they're auditioning a little bit too. They may be eligible for the postseason roster and want to show Charlie Manuel that they deserve to be on his 25-man team. I think Ruiz has made the club.
I was going to say, a pretty good chance this guy's going to make the 25-man group. This guy kills the Braves. 13 hits against Atlanta pitching. Led off the third with a double, but was left stranded at third base.
Yeah, he hit 343 against Atlanta coming into the game. There you go.
Last year, Ruiz set a career high in homers with 9. He's 1 away from that. He's hit 8 this season, has knocked in 52 men. Line drive left. Can Melky get there? No, he can't. Worth will come around and he will score. Ruiz does it to Atlanta again. A 2-out single gives the Phillies a 2-1 lead.
Pitch was down, but this guy is an excellent fastball hitter. He may be the best fastball hitter on their ball club. And the harder you throw, the better he likes it.
What a year for Ruiz, a lifetime .246 hitter. He's flirting with a .300 batting average. He puts the Phillies in front, and he clears the pitcher as Kyle Kendrick stands in.
Yeah, that's one side of it, of that hit, that I know the Braves were aware of it, but you had the pitcher on deck, even at the risk of loading the bases by walking Ruiz. You had Kendrick behind him. Home plate umpire's got a good arm. Jim Wolf, Randy Wolf's brother. He doesn't really like giving the ball to the catcher to throw back to the pitcher. He'll put a new one in play himself.
That's at the knees, and it ends the inning. 4 strikeouts for Brandon Beachy, but the Phillies with 4 big hits in the 4th inning. Howard, Worth, Ibanez, and Carlos Ruiz, a 30-pitch frame, puts Philadelphia. Head to the bottom of the 4th inning. One of the subplots and mysteries of this series would be how the Phillies set their pitching rotation. We know that Roy Halladay and Roy Oswalt will not start. We do know now who will pitch in tomorrow's game for Philadelphia.
Yeah, and this is kid Vance Worley, who will go against Tommy Hanson. Cole Hamels is expected to pitch like 2 innings, 3 at most on Sunday. And Roy Oswalt will also work a little bit, but that's going to be mostly a bullpen game, according to the Phillies, on Sunday. Braves are hoping to have this thing wrapped up before then, where it won't matter, and they can kind of do the same thing with their pen.
So Kyle Kendrick, who's had great luck against Atlanta this year, now leads by a run with Melky Cabrera to lead things off. It's been tough for the Braves to hit this year. That 1st inning run, only the 2nd earned run he's given the Braves now in 18 innings of work. Fly ball to right. 1 out. Time now for a money and energy-saving bright idea from Georgia Power. Change the air filters in your heating and cooling system regularly. Go to GeorgiaPower.com for more energy-saving tips. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
nervous much. That's Jamie Moyer. That's probably exercises for his forearm.
He was playing catch in the left field corner before the game and throwing hard.
Was he?
Chris Wheeler,
like how hard? Like,
well, for him,
75,
76.
Okay.
A lot harder than you and I can throw.
Oh, well, I'm not so sure about that.
Anyway, Chris Wheeler, the fine Phillies broadcaster, said before the game Jamie Moyer might try to pitch in this series, believe it or not.
No kidding. Well, I hope he can. Juggler in the offseason, you know?
Yes. 3-0 to McLeod. A base hit with one out.
Nate hit that ball on the button. He had cooled off a little bit after his good work after coming back up. He'd been 3 for his last 20. He stayed back on his back leg a little better. And got a good pitch to hit, too.
If Nate could finish with a flourish, he might be able to end the regular season with an average over 200. Considering where it's been all year, that would be a really remarkable accomplishment. It's been a struggle at the plate. Now he leads from first for Alex. He's 0 for his last 17. Ruiz out for a talk with Kendrick. Bottom part of the order up, and we've got a very good defensive catcher in Ruiz working behind the plate. Let's see if Bobby turns McLeod loose in a one-run game. One ball, one strike.
Ruiz got a good arm. Throws well. Doesn't mean you can't get a good jump off Kendrick and still swipe it.
McLeod 7 for 9 in stolen base tries this year. And now it's 1-2.
Kendrick has a pretty quick move over to first base, but not so good that Nate couldn't expand his lead some. In fact, that's pretty short and gets back easily. Get another half step out there. You got back easily on that throw over.
There he goes.
Yeah. Now.
Gonzalez down on strikes. His second strikeout for Kendrick.
And he's really fighting it. 0 for his last 18. And to chase a high fastball, and that's an unusual spot for Kendrick to go. But if you were with us for that series up in Philadelphia when the Braves were up there, I told you that this team, perhaps more than any other team, especially in the National League East, they like to go upstairs when they're ahead in the count. You'll see Ruiz come up out of his crouch quite often.
Let's see if the raw dog, Brooks Conrad, can chase McLouth around with 2 outs. Derek Lee doubled home Jason Hayward in the first. That accounts for the lone Braves run so far. See if they give him anything good to hit with the pitcher, Brandon Beachy, waiting on deck. Mentioned some of the Phillies bench players perhaps auditioning for a postseason spot. Pretty good competition, I guess, between Kendrick and Joe Blanton for that 4th starter spot should the Phillies advance to the 2nd round and beyond. Blanton's had a great September for the Phillies.
Yeah.
And Kendrick pitching another beauty tonight against Atlanta.
Got the call on the outside corner, went out there again, but as Fox Track shows you, and you could plainly see, that one tailed well off the plate. It's another hitter's count here. But they also know that with 2 out, the pitcher is on deck. And that's why Ruiz wanted that pitch away from Brooks Conrad. Don't give him anything down and in that he might golf out of here.
Runner goes, ground ball to Utley at second. And that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, a man left. We are through 4 at Turner Field, and it's the Phillies now with a 2-1 lead. In part by the Georgia Lottery, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Airtran Airways, and by the Home Depot. 4 in the books in Atlanta. Glad you're with us here in Braves country. Good ball game in all respects except the score. The Phillies plated a couple of runs on 4 hits in their last at bat. But Brandon Beachy pitching well, as is Kyle Kendrick.
They were good games in Philadelphia. The Braves made a couple of defensive mistakes that cost them. But all 3 games were good games. That the Braves lost all 3. That's not good enough to play good games now. You gotta win.
Braves' magic number is 2. Any combination of Braves wins and Padres losses clinches the wild card for the Atlanta club. San Diego plays around 10 o'clock, actually 10:15 Eastern time. They're in San Francisco.
This guy's a big question mark for them right now, Jimmy Rollins. Whether or not he can get his stroke back by the time they start postseason play, which is what, Wednesday for them?
They're taking the 8-game series. I'm not sure which day that starts.
I think that's a Wednesday.
And that is the case. 2 balls and a strike. And another ground ball to the right side. Derek Lee tells Beachy, hold your horses. I got this one covered. And Rollins is 0 for 3 tonight. We've been there all season long, and we'll be there for the postseason too. Make sure you catch a special playoff edition of Braves Live after each playoff game, should the Braves qualify. Fred, Ron, Brian, and Jerome will be there, of course, so no matter where you watch the Braves in the playoffs, after every game, switch to Fox Sports South for a special playoff edition of Braves Live. And Francisco 0 for 2. Now he's 0 for 3.
Well, it's kind of like the postseason for Braves Live, too, because when you think about it, I mean, Ron and Brian have been hot all year. If they stay hot right into the postseason, here's the key right here. Big Fred.
Yeah.
Fred's going to have to step up in the cleanup spot and drive those runs in. When those guys are on, he's going to have to be the guy. He's the key. They call it pick to click when they're doing the lineups and everything. Big Fred.
And if Jerome can shed his inner Grinch, there's no telling where that Braves Live crew can go come postseason time. Now, but we thank Fred, Jerome, and Brian, and Ron all year long. They've done such a great job of setting up the game for us and wrapping things up at the end of the telecast. Hope you all have enjoyed Braves Live and the Braves post-game show as much as we have at Turner Field and on the road. And hopefully more of those shows to follow the regular season, which wraps up here Sunday afternoon. Utley, a fly ball to left. Long run, Melky near the stands and slams into the stands. Great effort, but he came up empty.
And a hole in his left hand, too. I don't know if it was his glove hand or, that he jammed into the wall, and then his forearm raked across the top of the concrete. That was a pretty rough collision there. The ball, when it's being blown back tonight, we saw it with the ball in the infield to the third baseman, Dobbs, earlier. It's not just that it's being blown into foul territory, it's being blown back toward home plate.
Is this one of the tougher outfields to play?
I don't think so.
Coupled with the wind and the no backlighting, does that affect, generally speaking?
Yeah, not at this time of night. The lighting's fine this time of night because it's dark enough. Early in the night, early in the evening it certainly is.
Utley's slow roller to short. Beachy 3 up, 3 down. Halfway through game 1 against the Phillies in Atlanta. The pitcher's spot, Infante, and then Jason Hayward coming up in a 2-1 Philly game.
just to Bobby. See former players and Braves fans from all over wishing Bobby the best, and you can leave a message too. Just go online at foxsportssouth.com. Chip and Joe, back to you guys.
2-1's the score. Bottom of the fifth inning. Brandon Beachy will try to help himself in a 2-1 Philly game. And let's take a look at tonight's Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard.
Love this. 90 win seasons. Only John McGraw has more than Bobby Cox. Braves with their 90th win on Wednesday. And we talk about players being in categories, or you find yourself in a category with Babe Ruth, like Troy Tulowitzki this month in RBIs, and you think how awesome that is. I just think how good it must make Bobby feel to be lumped in with people like John McGraw.
Bobby over 2,500 managerial wins. Don't forget tomorrow the Bobby Cox Appreciation Day. Game 2 of the series. Fox South will have that for you before Big Fox carries the Braves and Phillies middle game of the series.
How about a leadoff walk to the pitcher? Would you go for that?
I would. Why don't you ask for this stuff a little more often?
Well,
it seems to happen every time.
I was really out on a limb there, 3-1.
Good start in a one-run game. Pitchers aboard. What do we say about leadoff walks, Joe?
They are really bad.
They usually score unless they don't. Come on.
Yeah.
Here's Omar. He's 0 for 2.
See if Bobby's playing for one run here to tie it up.
Look at that beautiful bunt. Infante a sacrifice. Beachy in scoring position for Jason.
And I think if you were with us for Beachy's other starts, we told you that in college he was a first and third baseman, so he should be well acclimated to running the bases. Chopping the can out here. It's great.
Sounds like October's of old, doesn't it? This kid all year long has been clutch.
Chase Utley playing about 3 steps out on the outfield grass. Might help him if Jason hits a ground ball to pull it to the right side and maybe allow him to knock down a ground ball that might get through otherwise. Looked a little high, didn't it?
1 ball, 2 strikes. Only the Braves in a great playoff race. We've got a great Rookie of the Year race that may be whittled down to 2 men. Jason Hayward of Atlanta, Buster Posey for the Giants.
Better fastballs of the night, 91. He's hitting his spots, and Ruiz is doing a good job of moving around back there.
Jason's already walked once tonight. That was his 90th of the year. He's got a 2-2 count here.
He made a really good 3-2 pitch to Brooks Conrad last inning with a runner at first and threw him a changeup. Got him to roll over the top of it, hit it to Utley. Let's see if they try another changeup here.
Line center field, but Worth got an excellent jump. And 2 are out.
He hit it hard. Kendrick has gone to a 3-ball count on 9 of the 20 hitters he's faced tonight. And living dangerously, but still has the lead.
So how will the Phillies play it here with Brian McCann, a man who you have pointed out the Phillies have handled pretty well at the plate. And you've got the right hand hitting Derek Lee next, but Derek has the Braves RBI so far in the game.
I can't imagine it's not that they're going to walk Brian, but they're just not giving much to hit. Charlie Manuel has a tremendous amount of respect for Brian McCann, as he does for all good hitters. Charlie Manuel was a hitter, and he loves watching good hitters.
Line drive left field. Ibanez plays it on a hop, and Beachy will be held. McCann a 2-out single, and the Braves have them at first and third for Derek Lee.
Great approach for McCann, too. He knew that with first base open, they may not give him much to hit. And look where Ruiz was set up, and Brian is all over that pitch. That wasn't even a strike, folks. And he hit it like a rocket into left field. Hit it too hard because Beachy couldn't score.
So Derek Lee with 2 outs.
Take a look at where Ruiz is set up. He's way out here off the plate. Pitch is delivered there off the plate, and Brian still hit it hard.
Hot shot. We're tied. The leadoff walk to the pitcher comes back to haunt Kendrick, and it's a 2-2 game.
Ran it in on him and up and in, and Derek got through on that one. That's where teams have been trying to work him over, and this time he puts one through the hole.
First pitch popped up. Jimmy Rollins drifts out and puts that away, and that retires the side. Beachy walked to start the inning. McCann singled with 2 outs, and then Derek Lee through the hole on the left side picked up his second RBI in the game, and we're through 5 with a 2-2. Middle of the order coming up against Brandon Beachy. Let's enjoy our Geico quote of the day tonight. Billy Wagner, Joe, talking about the 2010 wild card race.
Yeah, if you want somebody to get you fired up, just talk to Billy Wagner for a minute. We need to battle and get 2 wins, no matter what it takes or what you have to do. You suck it up and die out there for 2 wins. Okay.
And there's a great article this week in Sports Illustrated on Billy Wagner, who has had another marvelous season for the Atlanta Braves. He is still steadfast. He's retiring at season's end, but everybody in Braves country hoping that that final game won't come until sometime in November, perhaps.
You know, he was with the Phillies before he went to the Mets, and he got hurt when he was with the Mets and had the surgery. And he was telling me today, he said, you know, all that winter when I was rehabbing and trying to get my arm right and everything, I never heard anything from New York. He said, but I heard from Charlie Manuel. He called me pretty regularly to find out if I was doing okay, and that everybody in the Phillies organization hoped he came back and was strong and was good. He has a lot of respect for the manager of the Phillies. Both Virginia natives.
Ryan Howard ready to go for the Phillies. He scored their first run. That was back in the 4th. Tip the cap again to Brandon Beachy. Another fine start so far tonight. 5 innings of 2-run, 6-hit baseball against the Eastern champion Phillies. That one hit high in the air to right, but playable for Hayward. Ryan's retired. Worth will hit as we enjoy our AT&T Uverse trivia question this evening. What player holds the all-time record for most career hits against Bobby Cox teams?
Wow. Wow. You can't even really just focus on National League East because the Braves were in the National League West under Bobby's tutelage for a long time, too. Which makes you think of Barry Bonds right away. Man, is that a tough one. It's good that it was narrowed down to like every player in history.
Really kind of upset that we haven't gone the easy route of name a Met. I mean,
I prefer that.
I mean, this is a tough time. We're locked into the pennant race. We can't be wrapping our minds around obscure trivia like that. Two balls and a strike to Jason Worth. Of course, Bobby managed his last regular season game against the Phillies here on Sunday. You have to go back to April 7th, 1978. That was his first career game managed as the skipper of the Braves. Wasn't a lot of fun that day at Old Fulton County Stadium. Dodgers beat the Braves that day 13-4. A couple of really cool side notes for that first game as Beachy just missed.
Should have rung him up. Perfect pitch.
And now Worth steps out. Don Sutton was the man that won the game for the Dodgers that day.
Is that right?
Don's working next door on radio with our pal Jim Powell. The other interesting thing about that particular ball game, there are a lot of future major league managers that were in the starting lineups that day. Davey Lopes, Bill Russell, and Dusty Baker for the Dodgers. Jerry Royster for the Braves. Managed a year you might recall in Milwaukee.
Davey, the first base coach for the Phillies now. Wasn't Gary Matthews in that game too?
He was. Sarge had a robust 0 for 3 work in that day against the Dodgers.
Basket for the Phils.
And that one to straightaway center and over the glove of McLeod. And Worth in at second with 1 out.
We'll wait to see how they score this, but it was one of those hard line drives hit right at Nate McLeod, the hardest for a center fielder to read. He didn't get a real good jump on it because he wasn't sure if it was going to sink in front of him or not. And then the wind didn't knock that down at all. And it'll be a double for Worth, and John Mayberry Jr. will come in and run for him.
The way Worth's been swinging the bat, don't mind that trade-off a bit. So he'll end his night 2 for 3.
And this will be the first walk of the night, an intentional walk by Beachy. He's certainly taken that out of the equation.
And he'll go after Greg Dobbs, whom he has struck out twice.
Ray's bullpen is busy. Peter Moylan is throwing.
Phillies pen busy too as we move toward the bottom of Charlie Manuel's lineup card in inning number 6. Dobbs, their 7th place hitter.
And quickly ahead with a fastball. Good pitch. Remember, he struck him out twice tonight with changeups. So they've started him with fastballs here and took one, and he was late on the other. Ahead in the count. Struck him out twice. What do they go to here to finish him off? Don't have to throw him a strike.
Look out. That one almost picked off Sam Perlazzo.
There have been a couple of times tonight where Brian, to right-handed hitters and now to a left-handed hitter, where he's set up outside and well off the plate to get Beachy to waste a pitch away. And Brandon hasn't been able to put the ball out there off the plate. It's had the plate. And that one was low. It wasn't really a strike, but it had a lot of home plate.
Got him again swinging.
That one was where Brian wanted it. Watch Brian move out this time, and he put it right in the glove, right at the target.
So Dobbs strikes out 3 times in the game. Beachy whiffs 5. And this big crowd's going to give the kid a standing ovation.
tell you what, he's made a name for himself with these Braves fans. Standing ovation after his work tonight, and he was good. Only one walk, and it was an intentional pass. He struck out 5, and he gave up 2 runs, all in the 4th inning. When the Phillies put together 4 singles to plate a couple of runs. The pitch is into the 6th inning, and does a good job of keeping his ball club in it. Who is he, and where did he come from? And glad he's here.
The kid's done all right as Carlos Ruiz stands in with 2 outs. And he jumps on the first pitch. Conrad's got it. Bad throw, and all hands are safe.
No, there wasn't anybody to throw to. Omar wasn't there. Perfect. Tailor-made ground ball from Peter. Just what they wanted. But Omar was so far from the bag, he didn't get there in time, and Brooks was crow-hopping, waiting, skipping. And no one there.
So Dominic Brown will now come on. Moylan answers the AT&T call to the bullpen, gets the ground ball he wanted. But they're going to charge Conrad with an E5 to load the bases.
That's horrible. You can't make an error if you don't have anybody to throw to.
So that one might be revisited by Jack Wilkinson. But as it stands, the Phillies have him loaded and Dominic Brown in the box.
Kid out of Redan High School out in Stone Mountain.
He's their #1 rated prospect by Baseball America. 6'5", 204 pounds. A 20th round pick.
School's put out some pretty good baseball players. Wally Joyner among them, and Brandon Phillips. With that new improved slide step from Peter and taking a little off on his breaking ball, it has become a really good pitch to left-handers. On the previous play, when Brooks was wanting to go to second and Omar wasn't there, if Omar's going to play well off the bag on a ground ball like that, he's got to let Alex and Brooks know, hey, go to first on this ground ball. I'm too far off the bag to come over there and take the short throw.
Especially with the catcher Ruiz running.
So there might have been some better communication there would have helped.
Here's the pitch where Moylan wants action. 2 balls, 2 strikes with the bases full of Phillies.
Off the plate a little bit. Okay, maybe a lot. But now he's got to throw a strike.
And the runners will move with 2 outs. And the Phillies are back in front on a bases-loaded walk. Braves give him an extra out, and the Phils cash it in. Mayberry scores from third, Ibanez to third, Ruiz to second, and Brown at first with the RBI. 3-2 Philadelphia. And now Jimmy Rollins on his way to the batter's box, and Bobby Cox on his way out to the mound. Braves gave him an extra out, and the Phillies aren't through hitting yet. By McDonald's and by Georgia Power. Phillies have taken the lead 3-2 now as they continue. Peter Moylan got the ground ball he wanted. Braves could not convert it. And now a bases loaded walk has them leading. And it also has Mike Dunn answering the AT&T call to the bullpen.
Well, he's assumed a lot of innings for Eric O'Flaherty, who is on the shelf right now, and they're trying to get Eric ready for any possible postseason. But Mike Dunn has pitched brilliantly in spots we were expecting to see O'Flaherty at different times during the season. Now make Rollins switch around and bat right-handed.
Jimmy 0 for 3 from the left side tonight. Hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield yet. Does this time. Jumps all over a pitch and belts it to left. It's a grand slam home run.
Welcome back, Jimmy Rollins. Fastball right there. First home run allowed by Mike Dunn.
And the Phillies now enjoy a 7-2 lead. And as you mentioned earlier, the Braves had some defensive issues in Philly. A defensive lapse has cost them dearly in the sixth.
And the line drive that is a tough play that got over McLeod's head that started the inning. But the ground ball to Brooks. The thing about that play is that even if you're waiting for the second baseman to get there, if you see that he's not going to get there in time, you got to go to other options, which would have been first base.
Third career grand slam for Rollins, his first this year. And just what the rest of the National League wants to see, Jimmy Rollins starting to get hot, the way everyone else in that lineup has swung the bats in September. And now Francisco, a towering fly ball down the left field line. That's into the seats.
Here's a different look at that play, that ground ball to Brooks. Now, you see how far Omar is from the bag. That's where he's got to communicate to the left side of the infield. Hey, I'm way over here, so take the throw to first. And perhaps a good throw. Yeah, I take it back. A good throw probably still would have gotten an out. So the E5 is legit.
But so was Rollins' home run. A grand slam caps a big 5-run frame. And just like that, the Phillies spoiling the party. They lead
slam, but back in the third inning, he had a chance to drive in a run and would have, were it not for this great play by Derek Lee behind the bag. Flip to Beachy covering for the out. Nice stop by the Braves first baseman. That's the Coors Light Freeze Can, brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light.
So that was a great play. And here's the game summary. Brandon Beachy out of the ball game. 4 runs in the start tonight. Kyle Kendrick is out and is in line to win this game. Derek Lee, a good night at the plate, but Jimmy Rollins, the big blow, his first grand slam of the season, 3rd of his career, and it came on the first pitch he saw.
What a nice, quiet, easy swing, too, and he jumped on that fastball.
So Rollins gets the rest of this night off. As a couple of defensive changes for the Phillies. John Mayberry stays into play center. Wilson Valdez takes over at shortstop. And Antonio Bastardo, the left-handed reliever, on to face pinch hitter Matt Diaz.
Pretty high ERA for Bastardo, but left-handers having a hard time with this guy. They're just 6 for 33 since he got called up. He called up 4 different times this year from their AAA club.
J.C. Romero has been the main option for the Phillies from the left side of their bullpen. Bastardo might be a second option as Matt Diaz rifles a single up the middle. Good start for the Braves in the 6th, down 7-2. Gotta get Alex going. 0 for his last 18, including 0 for 2 tonight.
Plenty of time left. Put together a couple of good innings. Stopped by Ruiz.
And Alex swinging at the invisible baseball right now. He's down on strikes for the second time in the game.
It's like Alex in this count, because he's got to guard the plate. Not a real good indicator, but he's taking his hands with him. His hands not staying back, so that when he strides and he's already beginning a move to the ball, his hands are going and not staying back, and then that's slowing his bat down.
Brooks Conrad 1 for 2 in the game. He's got a 4-game streak working. He's going to use a couple of hits and someone to pop one here. Down 5 runs. That's one of the big differences, I think, between these two offenses. The Phillies have quick strike capability all the way up and down their lineup. The Braves without Chipper Jones, with Troy Glaus. After that spectacular month of May, they've really had to work hard to put together multiple run innings this year.
Well, let's face it, Jimmy Rollins has been out quite a while and was just 1 for 10 since he had returned to the lineup. You can understand why Bobby wanted to flip him around, especially bringing in a hot pitcher and Dunn. Rollins, a guy that's so instrumental to their offense, getting everything going in the leadoff spot. 19 games over 500 with him, 12 over 500 without him. But 74 games they've had to play without him in the lineup. That's a lot.
A testament to the job that Valdez did in his absence. Charlie Manuel was raving about him when we were up in Philly. And let's face it, too, the Braves have had their share of injuries, and we've raved about how good our bench has played all year. So two good clubs battling it out. Braves with a lot of reserves in there out of necessity. Phillies getting healthy at just the right time. And Conrad chased a bad ball. Diaz at first. 2 outs after Gonzalez and Brooks struck out swinging. Troy Glaus will pinch hit. Troy's had 14 at-bats since September 2nd with the big league club.
His last one came a week ago today at Washington. But the Braves would not be in the position they're in with a chance to nail down a postseason berth were it not for Troy and the wonderful work he did in May and actually into June.
Yeah, he was the player of the month in May with a .330 batting average, 6 homers and 28 RBIs. And a broken bat pop, shallow right, will drop. Glaus singles on an 0-2 pitch.
High target, but he didn't get the pitch he wanted. Ruiz is up out of his crouch, but the pitch was down some, and Troy fought it off.
Peck away if he can. With 2 outs, Infante bats. Omar can reach. You've got Hayward waiting.
Rollins' home run to left field hit just like you have to hit it tonight with that stiff breeze blowing in. He kept it low enough that the stadium blocked some of the wind off and kept it from knocking it down. Plus, he hit it a ton. So he's throwing hard. That pitch at 94. Been up and down 4 times, Bastardo. He's also on the disabled list for a time with ulnar nerve neuritis. Had to rehab that in A-ball.
Another good stop by Ruiz.
I'll say.
They always knew that guy could catch. They didn't know how well he'd hit. He's answered both of those questions in 2010. The answer is he does them both exceptionally well.
From Panama.
Struck him out on a late call. And the Braves' 2-out threat goes by the boards. Bobby Cox can't believe that call as we head to the 7th inning. Phillies in game 1 lead by a 7-2 score. Braves set up a big Phillies inning, and they cashed it in. Jimmy Rollins with a grand slam tonight, the decisive blow through 6. And now we head to the 7th inning for Philadelphia with the heart of their order due. A couple of defensive changes now for the Braves. Matt Diaz remains in the game to play left field. Melky Cabrera shifts from left to center. And the AT&T call to the bullpen answered by right-hander Kyle Farnsworth.
This is his first work on the homestand. Did not appear in a game against Florida. His last work came on the 26th at Washington. 2/3 of an inning, gave up a couple of runs and on walks.
Tough frame shaping up for Kyle, Utley, Howard, and Mayberry. Chase tonight is hitless, 0 for 3. He's got a streak of reaching base 27 straight games on the line tonight.
Kyle's got to hold them right there, and like you said, Chip, it's not easy facing this part of their order. But if the Braves are going to come back, as they've done so many times from the 7th inning on this year, they can't give the Phillies any more.
'31-year-old Chase Utley in a 1-2 count. Coming into this season, Chase Utley from the 2005 season through last year had more home runs as a second baseman than anybody in the game, even more than Dan Ugla. Had more RBIs than any other second baseman. Scored the most runs of any big league second baseman. This year, because of injuries, those numbers will take a hit. And that ball hammered to right. Jason going back and just shy of the fence. Long fly ball retires Utley, who is 0 for 4. 7-2 is our score, top of the 10 o'clock hour. Here's the National League wildcard standings at the moment. The Giants lead the West by 3 games, and they're hosting the Padres, a 3-game series at AT&T Park. The Giants' magic number to clinch the West is 1. Clayton Richard will hope to get some run support against Giants starter Matt Cain.
If you're not familiar with the magic number, Braves' magic number to get a spot in the postseason is 2. That's any combination of Braves wins or Padres losses.
Good pitch there from Farnsworth to Ryan Howard. And he blows him away with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. How about that sequence? Reserve your spot today for the 2011 Braves Fantasy Camp. Play ball with former Braves Steve Avery, Javi Lopez, Sid Bream, and others at ESPN's Wide World of Sports in Orlando. For details, call 404-614-1526. Visit Braves.com/fantasycamp or email us at fantasycamp@braves.com.
Some of the former Braves are beginning to file in anticipation of the big tribute tomorrow for Bobby Cox. Saw Gerald Perry down on the field during batting practice, and the big cat, Andres Galarraga, was here too. And everybody's always happy to see him. He's feeling good, in good health. Of course, that infectious smile always on his face. Having a chat there with Bobby Dews.
Another man with a great infectious smile. 2 balls and a strike to Mayberry.
Baseball came on the field from somewhere.
Phillies got Mayberry from the Texas Rangers before last season, a deal for Greg Golson. John was originally a Mariners draft pick in June of 2002. He didn't sign out of high school. The Texas club took him in the first round in 2005. Last season got into 39 big league games with the Phillies, hit 4 home runs in 57 ABs. Out of Kansas City, went to Rockhurst High School, then to Stanford. 2-time All Pac-10, freshman All-American in 2003.
His dad could hit him a long way.
John down swinging. Kyle Farnsworth with a very impressive top of the 7th. 3 up, 3 down as we stretch in Atlanta. Braves bats have some work to do.
.30 just before they take on the Phillies. Tune in and witness history on Fox Sports South. Now let's get you back to the game.
Thank you very much, Christina. There's your score, 7-2 in favor of the Phillies. Here's how it's happened. To look inside our Mass Mutual in-game box score.
Derek Lee's had a good night, driven in both of the Braves' runs. Atlanta was 7 hits through 6 innings and actually had the lead after 1 and had the lead going into the 4th inning. Tied it up in the 5th, but a big 5-run 6th inning as the Phillies on top.
Atlanta has 9 outs left. J.C. Romero is on in relief of Bastardo, who struck out the side, gave up a couple of hits.
He's always pitched pretty well against the Braves. 28 career games, just 3 earned runs, a 1.19 ERA.
2 left-hand hitters back-to-back for the Braves. Hayward first, then Brian McCann, then Derek Lee, who has had a very good night tonight.
Romero started the season on the disabled list, recovering from elbow surgery. He doesn't drop down as much as Feliciano of the Mets does, but he's still got a bit of a 3/4 delivery, makes it hard on lefties. season series is 8-7 in favor of Philadelphia. But the Braves have won 4 out of 6 played here.
Broken bat. Utley had to hurry and just did get Jason Hayward. One away. Let's revisit the way too difficult for this time of year AT&T Universe trivia question.
Well, I've got a guy. I don't know if he's the answer or not, but I was thinking about Craig Biggio.
Yeah.
You know, 3,000 hits,
sure.
A lot of games against the Braves when they were in the West.
Like it?
I'm going to go with Craig Biggio. Okay.
It's an excellent, very logical guess, well thought out considering the circumstances, but
I think we had a Jimmy Rollins answer in Philadelphia that was something like this, and I'm too dumb to remember that until now.
But a valiant try. Got to respect the effort.
There's some pitchers, and Romero is one for Brian McCann, obviously, when you see those numbers, were just hard to pick the ball up from some guys. And they won't cooperate and throw it where you're swinging.
Fly ball left center, but Mayberry is there. And there is the second out. Braves have scored 2 runs. The man in the batter's box is responsible.
He's our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot tonight. Came in the first inning to start things with a 3-2 count with 2 out. Hayward was running. He drove him in from first. And then another piece of good clutch 2-out hitting. He drives in the pitcher, Brandon Beachy, for the Braves' second run in the 5th inning. Our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot.
So let's see with 2 outs if Derek Lee can keep this 7th inning going for Atlanta. But first things first, Charlie Manuel will go into his very deep bullpen with a 7-2 lead. We'll tell you who the new pitcher will be. And don't forget, should the Braves make postseason play, we will be with you all postseason long. And then, of course, tomorrow at 3:30, the Bobby Cox tribute live from Turner Field, beginning at 3:30 Eastern Time. We will carry you up to game time when Big Fox will take over and carry the middle game of this big series here in Atlanta at Turner Field. Braves scored the game's first run in the first inning. Derek Lee drove it in. Phillies countered with 2 in the 4th. Derek a single in the 5th, tied the game at 2. But a defensive lapse opened the floodgates for the Phillies in the 6th. Jimmy Rollins hit a grand slam after 2 were out.
Chad Durbin on the mound for his 63rd appearance. He's a sinker slider guy. His fastball, his sinker, 88 to 90. 3/4 type delivery at times. Throws across his body, help create a little movement on his pitches.
I didn't realize how long this guy's been around the big leagues. His first taste of big league action was back in '99 with the Kansas City Royals. Bounced around for a while, went to Cleveland, Arizona, Tigers, the Phillies. Got him in time for the 2008 season. Went 71 times to the mound that year. Durable right-handed guy. Another veteran of Tommy John surgery.
Ooh, got away with one there. Christian Martinez warming up for Atlanta. Looks like we'll see him in the 8th.
To short. Valdez, a very strong arm. And that will retire the side. To the 8th inning we go in Atlanta. The Phillies enjoy a 7-2 lead. Two over the Braves on a chilly Friday night at Turner Field.
Big blow of the night. Our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Braves brought in Mike Dunn to pitch to Jimmy Rollins. Bases loaded. And he jumped all over the first fastball he saw. Nice, quick, easy swing. And it was grand salami time. First homer since he came back in the lineup. And there's a big one. Huge crowd here tonight. But unfortunately, they haven't had much to root for since that home run.
But maybe this AT&T call to the bullpen will get them fired up. Christian Martinez has done a nice job for the Braves relief corps this year. And he will face Raul Ibanez to begin the inning. One pitch and one out. Good play.
Yeah, you know what? He's done a good job. Braves got him off the waiver wire in spring training from the Florida Marlins, and he's pitched well. He's thrown strikes. He's done a good job every time in just about every role Bobby Cox has asked him to pitch in, whether it was one batter, two batters, or some long relief. Got a good arm.
And now he'll face Greg Dobbs, who's the happiest man in the world that Brandon Beachy's out of this game. Greg struck out 3 times against Brandon. Sellout crowd officially tonight. 51,139 tonight.
Biggest crowd since opening day.
What an opening day it was when Atlanta knocked off the Cubs. And Carlos Zambrano, you might recall. First major league pitch Jason Hayward swung at went about 470 feet. Ground ball by Dobbs. And at long last, he's able to make contact. He's aboard for the first time. 2 more games left in this series. Braves have standing room tickets for tomorrow's game as well as Sunday afternoon's regular season wrap-up. Braves.com/tickets, the place to go, or by phone 800-745-3000. The Turner Field ticket windows will also be open. Later start tomorrow, 4 o'clock here in Atlanta.
What time is the game tomorrow in San Francisco? Is that a day game?
Yeah, that'll probably be a national game too, a 4 o'clock Eastern time start.
So it'll be running simultaneous.
And at the same time too.
Each one will begin his right alongside, paralleling.
So we'll have to do some scoreboard watching late into the night tonight. Base hit by Ruiz.
Come on, Ruiz.
I'm going to have to break out the master next.
You know, let somebody else play.
I'm breaking it out. No more hits the rest of the series for that.
Brian Schneider's a backup catcher. He's never been to the postseason in his 9 years in the big leagues. He'd like to get ready, you know. Get a couple of at-bats here and there.
Ross Glode, the batter. Well, Charlie Manuel said, look, we're going to come to Atlanta. We're going to play our guys. We're going to try to win the games. And as we said, with the exception of Shane Victorino and Placido Polanco, they had their regular lineup out there tonight. And as much as I'm sure Braves fans would like to see the Phillies call off the Dogs the final 2 games, I think everybody would agree that Charlie Manuel, everybody else has too much respect for the game to do that.
You're going to have to earn it. That's what I said earlier. He said that there will be a team on the field capable of beating the Braves all 3 games. He said, I never liked it when I saw managers take out a whole bunch of their starters at the end of the season when it might affect the outcome of games or the outcome of the standings other places.
And let's be frank and honest too. There is a scenario that should disaster strike and the Phillies win all 3 of these games, the Braves could find themselves outside looking in.
Oh, yeah.
And the Phillies obviously would have a vested interest in that part of the equation, too. As that one over the inside corner, Glode down looking.
Yeah, bottom line is Braves are in a good position, but they haven't clinched anything yet. This Philadelphia Phillies team that won the World Series in 08, got beat in 6 games last year by the Yankees, and win the division again this year. The first 3 months, they had a winning record the first 3 months of the season, but it's when they go to the whip in the last 3 months it's a difference, including this year, having gone 21-6 in September.
Well, I remember when the Braves had their 7.5 game lead in the division. We were sitting here talking about this is unbelievable, the advantage Atlanta has. As Valdez bats. You said at the time on our air as Hayward gives chase, watch out for the Phillies.
I was talking to Chris Wheeler, one of their broadcasters, today before the game, and he said the Phillies swept the Reds 4 games right before the All-Star break, sitting pretty, playing good. He said then after the break we went on a road trip and we played the Cubs and the Cardinals, and we won 2 games on that road trip, and we shouldn't have won either one of those. He said we were dead in the water. And the Braves had about, I think that's when the Braves lead and going up to 7. but he said the Phillies were absolutely dead in the water, didn't have anything working, had injuries to Utley in particular that were really hurting the ball club.
Yeah, you're right. It was a 7-game lead held by the Braves after play on July 22nd. And as of August 9th, that lead had been trimmed to a game and a half.
Braves had a 3-game lead in the standings at the start of September and finished the month 5 back. That's how good the Phillies played in that month.
So it begs the question. You've seen the Phillies in the playoffs the last couple of years with your great work with TBS. You've seen them all year long. Where does this Phillies club rank among the last 3 or 4 for Charlie Manuel?
There is no question in my mind this is a better team. And the reason is they're starting 3. Their big 3 starting pitchers. Their bullpen isn't as big a question mark as it was last year. Lidge is pitching better here down the stretch. Madsen's doing a good job setting up. But those guys pitch so deep in the ball game now, Halladay, Oswalt, and Hamels, that it's taken away a lot of the question marks from their bullpen. It's covered all those deficiencies up down there. And you know how good their lineup is. Their lineup hasn't changed. It's still good. In fact, it's better with Polanco in there this year. So they're good. They're better.
3-2 pitch. And that misses downstairs to load the bases again for the Phillies. And it'll be Ben Francisco with 2 out. Dobbs at third, Ruiz at second, Francisco in the batter's box, with Valdez aboard with 2 out. Line drive, base hit by Francisco. That'll score another run. Phillies play it station to station, lead the game now 8-2.
They're going to bring Bobby out. Yep.
Seven of the Phillies' 8 runs have come with 2 outs tonight. And the bases remain loaded with Chase Utley scheduled to hit for the Phillies. (8-2) is the lead, and another AT&T call to the bullpen. Busy night for that stacked pen for Bobby Cox, and it's a surprise call to the pen tonight. Look who's striding in.
Yeah, Mike Minor's not been used in the rotation lately, so he's going to get some work out of the bullpen. His first relief appearance of the year. He did not appear out of the bullpen at all in the minor leagues. This will be his 9th game. He's 3-2, a high ERA. Lots of strikeouts, but he's also given up a ton of hits. 31 innings, 39 innings, 51 hits. Only hitting .313 against him.
And no place to put Utley.
One of the Ford keys to success for Kyle Kendrick tonight was, dude, where's my 5 runs? He averages 5.6 runs. I think that's right. 5.74 runs per start. He got 7 tonight while he was in there. 7 of the 8.
Marty, you recall, started for the Braves against the Phillies in the game won by Roy Halladay. That was Roy's 20th of the year. And to your point about a lot of hits, Mike gave up 7 hits in 2 1/3 innings. 2 of those were to Chase Utley.
Yeah, that was really a rough night for Mike. For probably the worst of his starts. This Phillies team has got a lot of good qualities.
Lynn played tricks with that, and Conrad couldn't come up with it in foul ground. And another swing on the house for Utley.
Again, not just pushing it into foul territory, but pushing it back toward home plate. And he knew he was close to the screen and couldn't get it. But they can hit. They can hit with power. They have good speed, and they play very good defense. They're among the league leaders in defense.
And should it come to it, the Phillies will have the Braves to a certain degree to thank if they make it all the way to the World Series and have a Game 7. Remember, it was Brian McCann with the big hit in the All-Star game that won it for the National League. So that may play dividends if the Phillies qualify. And Utley walks to force in another run. Chase has his first RBI of the game. Ruiz scores for the second time, and the inning continues for Ryan Howard. Funny game. Braves only had 1 walk until the 6th inning, and that was an intentional walk. They walked 2 in the 8th inning. This one forced in a run.
Giants obviously have something to play for and will put their best foot forward against the Padres. But likewise, the Reds, who have already clinched, doing the same.
Howard smokes that ball into the right field corner. That's going to score a couple. And the Phillies are punishing the Braves on a Friday night in Atlanta.
And the reason the Reds are playing hard, even though they're tied in the 11th inning tonight, is so they can finish with a better record than the Giants and not have to play the Phillies in the first round. 108 RBIs now for Ryan Howard.
See how many times the Phillies have scored double digits this year. A 5-run 6th, a 4-run 8th, and an 11-2 score. And John Mayberry, the 9th man to hit in the inning. 4 of these runs have been charged to Christian Martinez. And a ground ball to third. And Mercifully, the inning comes to a close. 9 come to the plate, 4 more score. Phillies 11, Atlanta 2 in the 8th. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And here is the Airtran home run leaderboard for the Braves. It has been a very, very light homer month.
Only one team had fewer home runs than the Braves in the month of September. Only 16 for Atlanta.
So you lick your wounds tonight. Hope for a miracle in the 8th and 9th, and set your sights on tomorrow. And hopefully get a little help from the San Francisco Giants out west. Ross Glode in for Ryan Howard over at first base. And Brian Bocock is in to play shortstop. Jose Contreras will pitch.
It's his 66th game, 6-4, 3.46 ERA. He's got 4 saves.
Popped up. Contreras, one of the victims of one of the Braves' best highlights of the year. That was that Nate McLeod home run early in the season. The home run where there was no one with whom to celebrate until he got down into the dugout tunnel. Here's Matty Diaz batting for the second time tonight. He singled as a pinch hitter to lead off the 6th. Toward third. Funny hop. But a good play by Greg Dobbs. 2 out. And now Eric Hinsky will get a chance to swing the bat.
Had a huge hit in the Florida series with a 2-run pinch hit homer. Let's hope his good luck charm continues. This was the drive off Anibal Sanchez. The gave the Braves a 3-1 lead.
And a ground ball out towards second will retire the side. Contreras 3 up, 3 down, and we go to the 9th inning. Big Philly lead.
Tacoma play of the game, and it's the play of the game in this sense. It turned the tide of the ball game. Braves were right in it, except with this bases loaded play, and set the stage for what should have been actually runners at first and second. It should have been an inning ending out. A good pitch from Peter Moylan, but Brooks Conrad chose to try to go to second to end the inning instead of adjusting and going to first when it took a while for Omar to get to second.
So Mike Minor back to work in the top of the 9th inning. Couple more defensive changes for the Braves. Diori Hernandez into play short. And an unforgettable thrill for the man behind the plate. Talk about that in a second. J.C. Boscan has made his major league debut.
After 976 minor league games. What a thrill for him. Boy, he's been a pleasure to have around, too, since he got called up.
Hopefully he'll get a chance to hit in the Atlanta 9th.
30-year-old rookie. He was happy to see Andres Galarraga today. JC also a native of Venezuela.
Figure he and Mike have a good working relationship from their days together in Gwinnett. And a line drive toward left. Long run. Matt Diaz can't get it. Greg Dobbs goes the other way and doubles with one out. This Philly offense is simply relentless. 11 runs on 13 hits. It's the 18th time this season the Phillies have scored 10 or more runs in a game. And remember all the injuries to their offensive players we spoke of.
18th?
18th.
Wow.
Number 2, this was a Philly ball club. Not only dealing with the injuries to Chase Utley and Ryan Howard And Jimmy Rollins. It's a club also that changed hitting coaches in the middle of the season. Bill Thompson began the season in that post. Phillies brought in Greg Gross and almost immediately started hitting balls all over the place.
He was their hitting coach in AAA at Lehigh Valley.
Ruiz, a 3-for-4 night. Scored twice. He's knocked in a run.
Maybe he'll take a day off tomorrow.
I hope so.
Maybe Brian Schneider's dad will call Charlie and say, hey, is my son ever going to get to play?
Back out of play by Ruiz. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Also want to wish a very happy birthday to the Braves president, John Schuerholz, tonight. John turned 70 today.
Yeah, he wanted to celebrate in a little different way than watching this tonight. But happy birthday, John.
And many, many more. 3 balls, 2 strikes. High pop fly. Left side, Conrad runs out of room. And the Padres and Giants are underway, and Ryan Ludwig has hit a home run. Both he and Adrian Gonzalez have been struggling mightily for San Diego. The last 9 games, those 2 men were 6 for 61 with 1 RBI.
Yeah, we showed that graphic earlier. Gonzalez, 2 for his last 26. He only had 17 hits total as a team in that 4-game series against the Cubs. Chicago really did the Braves some good work. They're winning 3 out of 4.
And again, as we mentioned in that head-to-head series, as poorly as the Padres have been swinging the bats, for whatever reason, they've had the Giants' number this year.
Yeah. Yeah, and what was that record at AT&T Park? 5-1?
Yes, and 10-5 overall.
Yeah.
At long last, Ruiz is retired. Take that, Carlos.
Yeah.
2 outs.
Yeah, you didn't hit that one, did you?
Macedonian Hex works every time, buddy.
Hit everything else. Yes, it did. Right? It did. You put the whammy on him.
Here's Glode. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if the Giants and Padres finish tied out west, and the Braves have the same record too, they'd have to play a playoff game in San Diego, correct?
Yes.
And then the loser of that game would play the Braves here.
That's correct. On Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
See, and when they play, if that were to happen and they had to play a playoff game Monday in San Diego, I think the game on Tuesday should start like at 9:30 in the morning.
Absolutely.
Hey, if you can't make it, you can't make it.
Why that late?
No.
Start before rush hour.
Yeah. Good point.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. Braves will have some more chances to take care of their own business. As it's an 11-2 Phillies game tonight.
Potential matchups for the Phillies. If they play Cincinnati, they're 5-2 on the year against the Reds, including that 4-game sweep in Philadelphia. And they're 3-3 against the Giants, 2-1 at home, 1-2 on the road.
And the inning comes to a close. Minor strikes out Glode. And that retires the side. Braves have 3 outs left. Big crowd tonight and a big outburst by the Phillies. An extra out, and Jimmy Rollins with one swing of the bat hit a grand slam to break the game open. Ryan Howard, Carlos Ruiz also big days at the plate. And Jimmy Rollins, Joe, a very big part of this Philly offensive attack. If he starts coming back, look out.
Well, just such a sweet swing he put on that 94-mile-an-hour heater from Mike Dunn. Stayed back, threw his hands at it. He's our Home Depot player of the game for that nice swing that really did it.
So 5 and fly for Jimmy Rollins tonight. We'll see if he's back in the lineup tomorrow afternoon for Game 2. Again, that'll be on Big Fox. We will have the Bobby Cox tribute ceremony beginning at 3:30 here on the Fox family of networks. We'll be on Fox Sports South. And our regular season telecast and our broadcast finale will be here Sunday afternoon. Then we'll turn things over to Big Fox and our friends at TBS for the postseason coverage, and we wish them well. We certainly hope the Braves will be a part of it. Mike Zagurski, the pitcher. Brooks Conrad in the batter's box.
Friends call him Bronco. 6 feet, 220 pounds, out of Omaha. Played at the University of Kansas. We saw him a few years ago. He first got to the big leagues with Philadelphia, then hurt his elbow and missed all of the 2008 season, recovering from that surgery. I will say this for him, wearing his pant legs up high and showing a lot of socks makes him look trimmer.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Brooks Conrad has another hit.
First hit for the Braves since Troy Gloss's pinch hit single in the 6th.
Freddie Freeman will hit in the 9th. That's why, again, it's so important. Got to keep it close with the Phillies. It takes the Braves a lot of work to generate big innings. And if you let the Phillies jump out and get the bats, get the offense and the run column out of control, you oftentimes run out of outs. And that's been the fate tonight. Long stretches for Atlanta without hits in the game. As Freddie looks at ball one. Roy Halladay, a 20-game winner. Does it appear we'll see him in this series?
He had a side session today, and their bullpen worked up a pretty good lather. But Charlie Manuel has announced that Halladay will pitch game 1 of the postseason and Roy Oswalt game 2. Hamels game 3.
Interesting choice. Some who thought maybe you put the lefty in between the two right-handed pitchers. I guess the way those three guys pitched in September, it really doesn't matter what order you throw them.
You know, I was talking about these things these qualities that this team has, and experience is another huge part of their team. But funny that their ace and the guy who will pitch the first game of the postseason has never pitched in a postseason game before in Roy Halladay. Here's some of his work today. And I would guess that he has moved to the front of the class in the Cy Young Award candidacy.
He's talking with Mick Billmeyer as Freddie singles to the right side. Looks around second. He'll make it to third without a play. And the Braves have 2 on, nobody out. But Billmeyer said in catching Roy Halladay, the cooler weather and the little extra rest that he's gotten now after he won his 20th game and that last victory, which was a complete game, all of a sudden that last little inch or two of movement that was missing during September, it's back.
They said he was just absolutely amazing in his last start against Washington, just practically unhittable, which he was once earlier this year against the Florida Marlins.
And for Halladay, the old strikeout to walk ratio might be the most impressive stat at all. Only 30 walks and 219 strikeouts. Here's Omar. And he pops it up in a shallow right. And there's your first out. Omar 0 for 4 with a sacrifice in the game. Now Jason Hayward, the batter, he's 0 for 3 with a walk and one of the 2 Braves runs. That came in the first inning.
Let's look ahead to tomorrow's starter, Vance Worley, a guy we've never seen before. He hasn't been in that many games. He got called up earlier this year and pitched in July, and then was sent back. Made his first major league start September 6th against Florida in the first game of a doubleheader. That was right after Florida had played the Braves down in Miami. And he lost that game, gave up just 2 runs though in 5 innings. All told, he's worked in 4 games, 8 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, just 2 walks, and he's had 9 strikeouts. Was not on their major league roster at the start of the season.
Rich Doobie, the pitching coach, will monitor his workload. We'll get a look at Worley, who was a 3rd-round Phillies draft choice just 2 short seasons ago out of Long Beach State. And they say Jason swung. Apparently so. 1-2.
It's an 11-2 call by Darryl Cousins, I think. Just a good crew, though, for this final series of the season. Jim Joyce at first, Marvin Hudson at second, Darrell Cousins is the crew chief at third.
And it'll be Marvin Hudson who will get the ball and strike assignment for Bobby Cox's final regular season game.
You know, I was trying to think, Jerry Crawford's still umpiring in the league, and I don't think we saw his crew all year long.
Can't remember him. Now full count. J.C. Boscan hopes to get his first big league at bat. And now it's a 3-2 count. Don't forget, after our ball game, we'll have a great career retrospective on Bobby Cox that the guys and gals put together for you. So you want to stay tuned for that, as well as all the post-game sound and highlights and analysis. Hayward foul, passed first, sharply hit, 3-2 your count.
Milwaukee beat Cincinnati in 11 innings, 4-3.
So that means Cincinnati, most wins they can get would be 91. Giants have 91 right now. And Jason chased the ball in the dirt and is struck out. First and third now, J.C. Boscan's first big league at bat. What a thrill for him. After all those years, after all that work, after all of those disappointments of not getting to the big leagues, here he is.
Makes it worthwhile. Who'd you face? Faced Zagurski, the guy I faced all summer long when he was pitching for Lehigh Valley.
Unlike the fictional story in Bull Durham, Boscan might be a modern-day Crash Davis.
Absolutely. He'll be 31 in December. And keep in mind, he hasn't had a bat against live pitching since the Gwinnett season ended. Not an easy task.
But whether he reaches or not, when next year's edition of the Baseball Encyclopedia comes out, his name will be in there, and it'll be in forever. Three balls, two strikes. Freeman at first will get a head start.
I know the score is very lopsided, but every one of those guys over there is rooting for J.C. Boscan right now, I guarantee it.
Popped up. And no play. Well, you think of the infinitesimally large or infinitesimally small chance that a major league player has of getting to the big leagues. I mean, it's just from Little League, junior high, Legion Ball, Pony League, Babe Ruth, college, through the minors. And these really are 1 in a million stories.
I don't know what the intestines have to do with it, but I'll take your word for it.
And how about that? Boscan walks to load the bases to keep the game alive.
Good at bat. Wasn't over anxious. And that's very hard to do in your first big league at bat, is not to want to run out of that batter's box and get the ball before it even gets to you.
Well, he's already done better than Walter Alston.
Yes, he did.
Former Dodger manager, was a man who came into a game with the Cardinals back in the 30s after Johnny Mize got thrown out of the game. And Walter Alston struck out in his one and only chance to hit in the major leagues. But things worked out very well for the man who later led the Dodgers.
Two other catchers very happy about the result of that at bat.
That's another one of the semi-unwritten stories about this Braves ball club, is how tightly knit this group is. It's a very close, very tight clubhouse.
Yeah, Chipper was talking about that tonight. That was nice to hear.
Line drive into right center field. That's going to score at least two. Boscan picking him up and putting him down. He's going to try. The throw will be late. A 3-run double for Derek Lee. Have yourself a night. Derek's driven in all 5 Atlanta runs.
Gursky having a hard time throwing strikes, having a hard time getting ahead of the hitters. And they laid one in there, and Derek, man, what a sound that made. Sends a laser into right center. JC runs good.
So they got the first big league at bat, first big league appearance, first big league run out of the way, all the same inning. Career J.C. Boscan got a chance to hit and a chance to score here in the 9th inning. And the Braves have scored 3 runs on a Derek Lee bases clearing double with 2 outs. And now David Herndon will come on and try to put this one in the win column for the Phillies.
And as you said, not something Charlie Manuel wanted to do. He wanted Zagorski to finish the ball game and move on.
Here's the news from San Francisco. Ryan Ludwig hit one early. Adrian Gonzalez has hit another one for San Diego, and all of a sudden those two guys are hot.
At least in the first 4 innings. Matt Cain has been arguably the best pitcher the Giants have had in the second half.
Only the second time in the last 24 games the Giants have given up more than 3 runs. It's still early out west. A 4-pitch walk will bring up Matt Diaz.
You know what? Just bat around, put a bunch of runs up there, and even if you do fall short, if you happen to fall short, everybody feels good about starting tomorrow's game, swinging the bats.
You still control your own fate.
Maybe they don't have anybody who can throw a strike the rest of the night.
Let's see if Matt's taking until Herndon does throw a strike.
Rich Doobie, their pitching coach, who won't have to ask Herndon to turn around and look at the scoreboard. He already knows what the score is. He wants to know why he's not throwing a strike. And it's also buying time for Ryan Madsen, their setup man, to get loose in the bullpen, who's getting ready in a hurry. Right-hander who had a hard time taking that throw back from the catcher.
Herndon just turned 25 years old. He was born in Panama City, Florida, lives in Southport, Florida. He's got him in a Rule 5 draft from the Angels. Went to Mosley High School and played ball at Gulf Coast Community College. And Casey Kochman's dad, Tom, signed him to a professional contract. Now the Braves down to their final strike.
Scoreboard says 11-5, but that scoreboard says it's 11-11. So these are big runs out there.
I like it. High chop. That's short. Throw on the run and in time. And the Phillies win Game 1 by a final score tonight of 11-5. No clinching for Atlanta in this evening's ball game. And with the Padres winning early out in San Francisco, we'll scoreboard watch and take matters into our own hands tomorrow afternoon. Again, tonight's final score, Phillies 11, Braves 5. Kyle Kendrick beat Brandon Beachy. We invite you to stay tuned for Braves Live. Stick around for post-game interviews, Bobby Cox sound, and all of tonight's highlights. For my partner Joe Simpson and our entire crew, Chip Carey inviting you to stay tuned for Braves Live next.